All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RakaKwadash. Double honors to the elders and our apostles, the great millstone that taught us this truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the globe. YAHAWAH, who the world ignorantly calls God. BAHASHAM is in the name. YAHAWASHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ and Jehovah. The RakaKwadash is the Holy Spirit. I'm the brother Iwalumi from the GMS Chicago branch out here in Chicago. Come back at you with another lesson. And Lord, and I hope this lesson be edifying. I'm entitled this lesson, I do a part two of the lesson I did with the brother YAHAWAH, going into the fall of America, until Satan, end up cutting the lesson off. But I just want to do a continuation of that lesson, how this place is finished, Babylon the Great, which is America. So I'm gonna start with this one. It's the book of Revelations 18, because we started with that Jeremiah 51 the last time. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Because what? This place is destined for destruction. So this is the book of Revelations 18:1. It's and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. It says he cried mighty with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right, because as I continue to read on in this Revelations 18, you will know that this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. And how is this place going to be destroyed? By the way of thermonuclear missiles. And it talks about how this place is not going to be dwelt from generations to generations. I believe that's either Isaiah the 34th chapter or Isaiah 19. But Lord, want to hit that up. It says, verse 3, it says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right? These other nations have drunken of the wine of America's philosophies. Displaced ways of living. These other countries, these other nations, have adopted that same lifestyle. By the way of the different things that America pushes through the philosophies. Different things of that nature. That's what causes these other nations to be fucking destroyed. It says, verse 4, it says, I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, that ye receive not of her plagues. Because ultimately, once this place getting destroyed, we're going to be delivered, by the chariots. As, these missiles are falling, the hopeful righteous elect, the elect is going to be delivered, by the way of the chariots, Because what's the ultimate plague that's going to hit this place? The thermonuclear missiles, It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahawah hath remembered her iniquities, right? That's why YAHAWASHI is fucking this place up the way he is. You can read about that in 2nd Ezra, I believe it's the 9th chapter, the first verse 1 and 2. The Lord, began to visit this world which he made, It says, verse 6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. Because what did this nation do to the Israelites? Castrated our men. Esau, Edom took our women. They took the land from the Native Americans, the Reubenites, the Northern Kingdom as a whole. That was our cut we had to drink. But the scriptures say what? Filled to her double. Ultimately, what's going to happen? This place is going to be shot down. Leveled by the way of thermonuclear missiles. Esau Edom is going to go into captivity, and suffer some of the most horrific punishment known to man. But first, this place got to be destroyed. Which we're going to in this lesson right now. The fall of America. I'm gonna skip to verse 8. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahawah who judges her. Right, this place is going to be judged for fire, because I believe it's in 2nd Ezra, somewhere in 2nd Ezra, how it talks about when the arrows began to shot to the ends of the world, talking about those missiles. You can read about the missiles all over the scriptures. Primarily in the book of Revelations, the book of Isaiah, the 2nd Ezra, Malachi, what's that? Malachi 4:1, how this place is going to burn as an oven, Verse 9, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. And right, how does the kings of the earth live deliciously with this place? They make money off this place. The nations that come here, things like that, make money off this place. And live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, and they shall see the smoke of her burning. Right, because when this place is destroyed, everybody, this is going to be, worldwide news. Everybody is going to, see this place burn. Because it talks about, those, that's actually the next verse. It says, verse 10, it says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Right, talking about in 1 hour that this place is going to be destroyed. Talking about what? America being destroyed in 1 hour by the way of thermonuclear missiles. And, going into that word Babylon, which means confusion, Babylon, the great confusion. This place is very much, that great confusion. You don't know if a woman is you don't know if a woman is an actual woman. You don't know if a man is an actual man. Just point out a few points. Yeah. So it says in 1 hour is thy judgment come, because what? It's only going to take the Lord to deliver his elect and destroy this place. It's only going to take 1 hour. The Lord is going to make slight work of this place. And we can see it right now. Everything is leading up towards the destruction of this place. The crash of the dollar, with me and the brother YAHAWAH was talking about in part 1. The CBDCs, the digital currency, the morale of the people being gone, World War III. All these are the things that's leading up to the destruction of this place. I'm gonna jump down to let's see. Verse 11, I might as well continue reading. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. And why can they buy her merchandise anymore? Because this place is going to be destroyed. It says, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood, all theine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, iron, and marble, and cinnamon and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine and oil, and fine flour, and wheat and beast, and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves. And right, who was the the top slaves? Really the only slaves that was making money for this place. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And we're still slaves to this day. You can read about that in Baruch, the 3rd chapter. I believe it's Baruch 3:8. We are yet this day in our captivity. Doesn't mean, since we since we don't have the chains around our neck, it's on our mind. Our people are stuck in the prison systems. We're forced to work. A lot of our people is caught up in the system. We have birth certificates, social security cards. It just basically shows you that, that we're still slaves. It says in souls of men. It says in the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. It says, the merchants of these things which are made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Right? Because what? They're going to see, the other nations going to see this place burning, And what I mentioned before, I believe it's in that Isaiah 34, actually. This place is going to be burning from generation to generation. Only desert creatures is going to lie here, It says in saying, verse 16, it says, saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. It says, and for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. It says, verse 18, it says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Right, talking about America being destroyed. I'm going to end it off in verse 19, and I'm going to move on. It says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For 1 hour is she made desolate. Right, 1 hour is this place going to be destroyed. These heathens, these other nations can't come over here and do business anymore. And what is the top, when these nations come over here, who do they abuse the most? Who do they capitalize on the most? Jake, we'd be abused over it. These other nations come over here and, use us and different things like that. Everybody make money off Jake, but that's going to be no more as the Lord is going to destroy this place in 1 hour. So let's go to that Isaiah 34. This is the book of Isaiah 34 and 1. It says, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. It says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter. Yeah, because ultimately, YAHAWASHI is going to make his second return, and destroy the armies of the earth. You can read about that also in that second Esdras, how they were destroyed, without hand, It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Right, the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Yeah, because ultimately what? By the way of thermonuclear missiles. These governments, these different kings, because it talks about in the book of Revelation, the Lord had many crowns upon his head. Because the Lord is going to come back and take these devils out of power. The first thing, the Lord is going to destroy this place. How you have these different nations talking about how we got next after America fall. You're seeing that a lot from China. Nobody got next but the Israelites. Starting with the elect that YAHAWASHI is going to set up. It says, verse 4, it says, all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, right? Talking about that mushroom cloud. And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, as a falling fig from the fig tree. Right? The falling fig from the fig tree, talking about that missile. How it curves over and how it comes down. I believe it's let me see, can I find in Revelations is it 6? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Bear with me. Let me see. It's in 8. Yeah, I can't find it right now, but Lord willing, I can do a lesson on it. Let's see. No, it's not Revelations 9. Could be. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna end up doing a lesson on it, but back to the lesson at hand. That fig tree, falling fig from the fig tree is talking about, those missiles. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Again, talking about the missiles, because what? When these missiles are shot up, it's going to come into the atmosphere and then it's going to come down. It says, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, right, which are the Edomites, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. It says, the sword of the Lord, Yahweh, is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with blood of lambs and the goats, and the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Right, because it talks about how the Lord is going to enter into the land of the thief. Talking about these Edomites. This place is going to be one big sacrifice. It says yeah, that was pretty much the point. But let me go to Isaiah 9 and 5, because we was talking about the missiles and things like that. This is everything is leading up towards nuclear war, which is going to be the downfall of this place. We're seeing the downfall of this place right now. The money system is completely through. Which is going to bring in the digital currency. And what's next after that? What? Nothing but nothing but nuclear war. Which is going to mark the end of this place. It's the book of Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Right? Compared to the old ancient world, you had people fighting with swords, shields, bows and arrows, and things of that nature. It says, in garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? So this particular time, this current generation that we're living in, the Third World War, this is going to be fought with what? Burning and fuel of fire, those thermonuclear missiles, Because what does Russia say they have? They have a missile called Satan. I believe it's called Satan 2. but they have a missile called Satan. I believe, what is it, North Korea, have a sonic ballistic missile that can basically move at the speed of sound, something like that. But these different countries is, building up their nuclear arsenal, you know, and things of that nature, which is what it's going to be used for war, you know. Actually, let me go back to the Isaiah 34. This is the book of Isaiah 34, and let's see, let's see. Yeah, Isaiah 34, I'm going to start at 14. It says, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, the screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place to rest. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, everyone with her mate. Right? Because like I said before, once this place is completely eradicated and becomes the biggest desert on the face of this earth, it's nothing going to be nothing but desert creatures that, that lie here. Actually, let me jump up, Salakia. Let me jump up. I jumped the gun. Let me jump up. I'm going to start at verse 10. Isaiah 34:10. It says, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. For generation to generation, it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Right? That Revelation is the 18th chapter, which I read, how this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. America is going to be burning for a very long time, as it says right here, from generation to generation. Right, from generation to generation. So this place is going to be burning for a very long time, It says, verse 11 says, but the cormorant and the binner shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles, and the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, everyone with her mate. So basically, what this place is nothing. It's going to be inhabited with wild animals. Once this place is a desert, nothing but wild animals is going to dwell here. As I read, in Revelations the 18th chapter, how this place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. After this place, continues to burn, and after this place settles, nothing's going to dwell here but wild animals. No human life is going to dwell in this place no more. Well, let's get that Malachi. This is the book of Malachi 4:1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord YAHAWAH of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Right, this is what's coming to this place. You can see it on the movie Terminator 2 and Terminator 3. Terminator 2 with Sarah Connor. She was seeing burning when that nuclear blast had went off. You can see her, withering away, being nothing but bones and skeletons. To ultimately, she was nothing but ashes. And Terminator 3, at the end of that movie, you can see it in the atmosphere, thermonuclear missiles being, shot from place to place. But ultimately, this is what's coming to this place, complete annihilation, and Esau Edom shows in in a lot of his movies, that this place is going to be totally destroyed. But I'm gonna end it all right there. Lord, I hope it was edifying. I want to end out back giving all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, REKAKWADASH. Double honors to the elders and our apostles, the great millstone that taught us his truth, and salutations to the hopefully like that's around the four corners of the globe. Lord, I hope this lesson was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.